What is going on, everybody? We are back with some Whirlkick Rogue. So the story behind this was originally supposed to be a Soul Demon Hunter video because I've been doing great with that in qualifiers, and I wanted to practice a bit for the decks I was going to bring next week to qualifiers, and did not have a good night. I went 1-8 with Soul Demon Hunter, went like 2-4 with Enraged Warrior, and ended up in a rank I wasn't terribly happy with. So I queued up some Whirlkick Rogue. And even though I was recording, I was not recording voice. So this video will be a voiceover of 2 or 3 games. And after I queued that up and stopped talking into the microphone, which I think was causing me to overthink a bit and not play my best, I went 7-3. And then I went 2-0 this morning when I queued up some more games. This deck is really good. I think people know it's good, but it's kind of a sleeper. So if you guys are looking to play this deck, I'm going to talk about some card choices real quick, and then we'll get into the games. I know that Aggro was really popular, but this deck has some anti-aggro tools in it. So let's look at the deck and see what's in it. So in this deck, it's pretty much your basic list. There's 2 flex spots. They are Nitro Boost Poison and Flick Sky Shiv. I want to talk about those cards specifically, but this list is pretty fluid. We just create our own pressure, then we combo off with Whirlkick, we generate value, and that value does just awesome things. Whirlkick Master doesn't have a ton of whiffs anymore, aside from Kidnapper and some of the 5-drops, but most of the combo pool is really good. But the 2 flex spots, Flick Sky Shiv is the first one. So this could be an Edwin Van Cleef. I often find myself when I get an Edwin Van Cleef off of like Whirlkick, that even though I combo out pretty well, I'm stuck with 3 mana instead of 4 mana, and Edwin now costs 4, so I'm often short of mana, so it's never worth it. And Flick is really good into boards with minions of the same name. So like Token Druid, right now this will clear out any Token Druid board of Glowflies or Treants. When Cheese Paladin was a thing, I think because of the Allura nerf, it will die off, hopefully. This killed boards of Clowns. And I played a game last night against an OTK Demon Hunter where they dropped a Moarg, and then this killed their Moargs because Flick is awesome. And that felt awesome. So I think if you want to have a little more success in those aggro matchups, this is the better card. But I don't think no one's going to kick you out of bed for eating crackers if you put Edwin in your deck. It's a flex spot, but I prefer Flick for the reasons I just mentioned. And the other card, Nitro Boost Poison, could be a Brain Freeze. I like this because it helps put damage on the board and push more damage, and even though this deck is really good at creating a ton of value, sometimes it can't create the damage it needs to get there. Nitro Boost Poison helps with that chip damage and just board presence. If you want to cut this card, it could be a Brain Freeze, which synergizes really well with creating value with Whirlkick Master. And I don't think either card you pick, you're going to have a bad time. But guys, that is the deck. Again, this will be a voiceover, so you can just listen to the sweet sound of my upstate New York accent voice and listen to me stumble over my words. But guys, with all that, leave a like and subscribe. We are so close to 100 subs, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take it easy. Games will be at normal speed. So the first game is against a Control Priest. I'm pretty sure it's some kind of Galakrond Priest. So this open hand's kind of weird. We're going to mulligan this whole hand. It's just, this is so late game combo-y that we really need early game activators for those combos. But we do get a Questing Adventure back, which isn't great, and a Backstab, which is fine, and Foxy Fraud with no way to use it to activate anything. And as we said in the intro, Nitro Boost Poison is not a combo card. So unfortunately, we can't really do much on turn 1. We have no way to activate Foxy, we have no Swindles for Foxy, we have no Pharaoh Cats, we're just going to pass. We can set up a decent questing adventure here, and this will tell us that this is some kind of controller Galakrond Priest. They play that. Thank God it's not Res Priest. The Shadow Step is actually pretty nice. Again, nothing really to activate anything with. So we're going to weapon up and pass. Saving weapon for Nitro Boost Poison is probably the correct play here. But we get hit in the face for 1, which, I mean, whatever, it's 1. But we can pop off here a little bit with a Questing Adventurer if we want, because we have coin, and it looks like that is what we are going to do. Now, against Priests, we should keep in mind that we want to keep our minions' health at 4, so it's harder for them to clear the minion because they don't really have deal 4. kill a minion with 4 health, or attack. We're going to take Cone of Cold. None of the things are great there. You could make a case for Apex Blast because it deals damage, but we're looking to outvalue this priest more than just kill them outright. So they're going to go face, and a 4 attack minion is just hard for them to deal with. They can Forbidden Words, which would actually clear the priest. The questing adventure, I'm sorry. Like I said, you guys get to hear me stumble over my words. That does not kill my questing though. So thankfully, we can pop off a little bit. I would have liked the Wand Thief to survive so we can bounce it with Shadow Step, but having the Foxy to bounce if we want is fine. We do the order correctly there and bounce back the Foxy first and hit him in the face for 13, which seems pretty good. I believe this turn they play the new card. Yep, the Shadow Hunter Vol'jin. I'm probably saying that wrong. But it swaps a minion in her hand, swaps a card on the field with one in his owner's hand, so he sends back our questing. But it didn't kill the questing, so we can go back in with it. I don't think Prize Plunder is going to kill this Vol'jin, unfortunately. I think we're just a little off. I don't think we have 4 damage from this. I think we only have 3. And that is the case. We still go face with Foxy Fraud. We're out of cards, though. We have Cone of Cold, which isn't going to do much. But we have a pretty big board. It's hard for them to deal with, especially if they're going to draw a minion. And this is when I realized, okay, this is just going to be game because they're playing Corrupt Priest, and that doesn't have Taunt. So that's going to be game 1. We're back in the top 7k, which is weird to say. This next game is against a Control Warlock. It's Galakrond Warlock specifically. Sorry, I bumped my mic with my hat. Questing Adventures are hard to stick here because of Plague of Flames, but we're going to send this whole hand back. It is pretty, again, combo-y. We need cards to activate those combos, not the combo cards themselves. So this ends up being Galakrond Warlock. I was thinking this might be Zoo, but the dumpster that I'm in is pretty control-y. And a lot of these people are playing slower decks and unrefined decks, so that's also part of the reason why we have a leg up on the competition. But we're going to play the Foxy Fraud out. And there's no reason not to do anything else but play this Wand Thief. And we're going to get really greedy here with this Potion of Illusion. It's not guaranteed to stick. Fireball is actually probably a better choice against a Warlock who taps a lot, but they all cost 4, and we're going to go with the Potion because we are greed masters. Just kidding. There was another game where I went with the Potion of Illusion, but I think taking Fireball here is actually the right option. Sorry for misleading you. I'm getting my games confused. But they're going to tap and go face, which isn't going to really do too much. This hand's a little bit awkward because we do want to play out this Evil Miscreant, but we really can't do too much. So we're going to take a value trade and go face for 2. It's not great, but it sets up next turn pretty well. And they're going to play the Dragonblight Cultists to put minions on the board. This isn't that bad for us because we have ways to deal with their board. And there's a questing. We're not going to play the questing yet because we only can make another 3/3, which isn't ideal. But we're going to keep putting stuff on the board. Those Rush Lackeys are awesome. And we can take off one of their imps and then go face for 3. Again, against a Warlock, we just want to kind of pressure them enough so it's harder for them to deal with what we're creating. And Warlock taps so much and heals so little that damaging them and putting in chip damage is pretty important. They will coin out the Shield of Galakrond, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's not the easiest thing to deal with. And we have a flick next turn for it. And we're kind of just taking stock of what we have. And it looks like we're going to go in with a questing this turn. Eviscerate the 4/5. This won't be a huge questing, but we can set it up to be a big one if it survives. The chances that this survives are pretty low, especially at 3 health. Dark Skies clears this, I believe. Any Galakron card in Plague of Flames clears this. We're just trying to create some pressure and have them overreact, which a lot of people tend to do if you just play out a questing adventure wisely. Like, you can't just like play like a Whirlkick Master on 2 and be like, okay, yeah, let's see if this lives, because it won't. But in this case, he's going to clear, but he also took a turn off and lost board presence, so I'm okay with that. I'm thinking about sending 6 damage face here. It probably doesn't make sense to do it now. I think just playing out the Brush Lackey and comboing it with the Wand Thief is probably the best play. Even though it's not great, it's pretty slow. And we're going to take the Mirror Entity to copy something that he plays again. It creates counter pressure and stuff that he has to deal with. I guess they have to deal with, but again, we're trying to create our own pressure and then have them react and hopefully not be able to react. Unfortunately, they react really well there to clear our board. And there is a second Dragon Blight. We can get our own. It's not ideal. It's like not a very good minion to have. But we're just kind of biding our time until we're able to put our own pressure and just push for lethal. So we're going to go face here and play out the Jandis Barov, who's going to give us some not great options, unfortunately. But we can play the Rush Lackey and trade off Jandis. And they hit us with a well played. Don't like emotes. Forgot to squelch them. I don't entirely understand these trades. There's a reason for it, but I don't remember what it is. It was for the Militia. That's right. So Flick is also really good here because this will clear up the Militia. The Militia Spirits, I should say. This Militia is kind of scary because it does set up a Ticketus. There's our Whirlkick. We're not going to play it right now. We're going to Flick, clear off their board, leave them with a 5/5 instead of 14 attack worth of stats on board, and just continue to push in that little damage with our dagger. We are running low. We don't have a ton of refill. We have some healing and fireball, and they're going to tap down to 17, then heal back up, unfortunately. And that's going to be a cascading disaster, which will clear off our Flick, but Flick did its job, so we're not too worried about that. This is not a great hand, admittedly, and it's kind of awkward to do things with, so we're going to kind of hope for a miracle. Perdition's Blade is the start of a miracle. This prep could also be really, really good. The Wand Thief is awesome. There's our second Miscreant, and there's not really much that's good here. We're going to take the Grand Finale, summon an 8/8. It's not ideal. We could have also prepped out Fireball there. We don't need to. We got stuff back on board. We got their Militia taken care of. They are going to clear this with a School Spirits. But next turn we can go into a Miscreant and the Kartuk Defender if we want to. Eviscerate's also very good. With Fireball, that's 10 damage for 6. And hitting them once in the face sets them to 15. So we just need to push a little more damage at this point. And it looks like we're going to be able to. This Kartuk Defender is sticky, and summoning another minion, especially a 2/3, is also pretty good. Hitting them down to 15, we just need 5 damage to survive. Not even, we need 4 damage to survive because we also have Dagger. And we can make this game go longer if we need to with the Grand Finale. We don't really want to get to that point. They will draw Galakron here, but if they can't take care of our board, especially because they played the Galakron first, that's not at Dark Skies. This game looks like it should be over. And exactly 5 health survives, so this will just be lethal. And just generating value. I gotta hit them with a Willis. I do a little bit of BM. I was tilted at this point in the night. I don't normally condone that, but we will hit them for 15 in the face to close this game out. And Rogue just does rogue things. It's phenomenal. And one more game coming up here. That game is going to be Rogue v Rogue. This is a bit of a weird Rogue, and why I don't love that I'm so far down in ladder. This isn't an Aggro Rogue that plays the quest. So we're going to send back the Nitro Boost Poison, but we have an activator for this Wand Thief, so we're going to keep that. And the Prize Plunger is pretty good. Prize Plunger is going to be better later in the game. The later you can drop a Prize Plunger, I can't talk, the better. Miscreant's okay. We're not going to worry about this. We're just going to pass turn. And see what they do. If they don't play a card, they play... So this is what's weird to me. They play the Spy Mistress, which tells me that it's some sort of Aggro Rogue. And we'll play out the cat here as well as the Wand Thief to get some value going. We take the Magic Trick because it is also a combo activator, and we can combo into it next turn with the Miscreant. But now they play the quest, and this just throws me off. I don't get it. I really don't. This is an interesting deck because obviously a 3-2 weapon consistently is good, but why not just play Aggro Rogue? But we will prep out the Magic Trick and get the Fan of Knives. This obviously is some sort of aggressive deck. We don't know what kind of aggressive deck yet because it ruins the quest, but we're going to take a trade. And I'm just kind of thinking, like, what do we want to do? Do we want to draw? Do we want to generate 2 lackeys? Do we want to just kill it with the Prize Plunger? The generation of lackeys is the best option here. Witchy Lackey's fine. It goes really well with Jandis and Flick and the Miscreant. So if it survives, that's great. Especially if we can get this Nitro Boost Poison down with whatever we evolve into. So they coined to combo out with Swindle and draw cards, and then play a 1-3. So there's a few things we can do here. We can Shadow Step the 1-2, the Wand Thief, I'm sorry. So Shadow Stepping that will let us get an activation on it again. Arcane Missiles is good. We don't need to play the Fan of Knives this turn. Now we can save the Fan of Knives for something more dangerous or just wider boards. And the Arcane Missiles will not clear the board, unfortunately. But I can send 1 damage face, evolve the Lackey into the High Priest. This card is cool. Rogue using other classes' legendaries better than it is just so roguey. I forgot what the name of this card is, though. But it's good, because it's going to make all our minions have 7 health when we play them. And it's going to be very sticky and hard for them to deal with. They get a Cult Neophyte. We're not terribly worried about a Cult Neophyte. And they're going to go wide here with their board. We can Fan of Knives this and clear this up really, really well. And that's what we're going to do. There's no reason not to just take this board out. This Jandis, when we play it with this High Priest, whatever its name is gonna be so nice. So we did not summon. It's 2-3. We transformed it, which means it does not get the buff. But next turn when we play Jandis, you'll see that it will get all the minions summoned get the 7 health buff, which is awesome. And they're going to generate random cards and get this quest completed, but it's not really going to matter. Also, my mouse is stuck on this candle taker here, and probably shouldn't be. I think Pope past Sam is texting. So there's no reason not to do anything here but play the Jandis. Jandis into 2 minions, all with 7 health. Just really, really good. And they are both going to be 5/7s, so it doesn't matter which one we pick. They also don't do anything. They're both Battlecry minions. And then we can send 3 damage, 4 damage face. No reason to Nitro Boost yet. We want to do it on a full weapon instead of one with 1 swing. And then we have Prize Plunger to clean up stuff. We have Foxy Fraud to activate combos. We're in a really, really good spot. And unfortunately, our aggro opponent, who runs Quest, is not in a very good spot. Especially right now because we have 15 damage on board, plus an extra 5 from the Nitro Boost poison. It does... The 7 health on both makes it really awkward for them to where to hit, which is great for us. And I don't really think they know what to do. I think they're going to concede here in about 2, 1. They will overgrowth. The last-ditch effort to do nothing, and there's the concede. Guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, we are close to 100, so leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take it easy.